Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe.
So today, this is the verse from this song, this beautiful song of Sri Narottam Das Thakur, which is about the glorification of Srimati Radhika, and how we can be 108% sure that this is not a wrong thing, to worship and glorify Srimati Radhika. That this is the way how to get bhakti in the first place. Radhika charana renu bhushana koriyatanu anayase pabe giridari Radhika charana shrai yekare se mahashai tare moi jai Bolihari. Anyone who decorates the body with Radhika's foot dust easily attains Giridhari. I praise any great soul who takes shelter of Radhika's lotus feet. Narottam Mahashai, the big Mahatma, biggest Mahatma in our Gaudiya Vaishnava line, he says, I praise any great soul who takes shelter of Sri Radhika's lotus feet. Radha's foot dust. In the next 3 verses from this, Srila Narottam Thakur Mahashai speaks of the worship of Vrindavaneshwari Shri Radharani. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas that surrender to Sriman Mahaprabhu's lotus feet have greater love for Sri Radha. Therefore, these verses are most beneficial to them, working on them like reviving nectar elixirs. It makes us alive to hear this glorification of Srimati Radhika, and especially listening from one very realized and eternal maid servant of Srimati Radhika, Narottam Das Thakur. Working on them is like reviving nectar elixirs. So what we are doing here now, we are churning the nectar elixirs. Srila Narottam Das Thakur first says, Shri Radhika charanarenu bhushana koriyatanu anayase pabe giridari. By accepting Sri Radharani's foot dust as the ornaments of the body, Giridhari, Shri Krishna, will be easily attainable. Just for those who have a doubt that we are not neglecting Krishna when we are taking our full concentration and full service mood towards Srimati Radhika. Krishna is very happy. He is most happy. He has arranged this for us. It's his arrangement. The only means, the only way to attain Shri Krishna is Prema, divine love. That is propounded by all the scriptures. In scriptures like Srimad Bhagavat, we can find a lot of examples of the power of the foot dust of the saints in bringing about the attainment of devotion or the attainment of God. The great sage Bharata told King Rahugana, this is also in Srimad Bhagavatam, O King Rahugana, without being sprinkled by the foot dust of the saints, penances, performing of Vedic duties, donations of food, charitable building of houses, studying the Vedas, or worship of water, fire, or the sun will not help to attain the truth about God. So everything what we do any good things that we like to do, like to help others, do welfare, if it's not connected to a sadhu, to a saintly person, if it's not connected to a higher purpose, to divine love, it is not helping us. That's very interesting, because many people in this world are helpers and philanthropists. They like to do good. They like to help others because they have maybe, more than others. They have more money or more knowledge. But the sprinkling of the foot dust of the saints is the essential thing that makes it into service, divine service. And the same is for penances, means austerity, like the yogis, or like any kind of austerity that we try to do to purify ourselves. Any kinds of food distribution. So we know that we also have our good projects in Mungeraj Mandir. But because this is connected by the foot dust of our Param Gurudev, of all our, acharyas, of Gurudev, this is helpful to attain Bhakti. And not only Bhakti, we are aiming for Srimati Radhika's service, the mood of the Palyadasi, the mantras. So another quote comes from Bhakti Sandhava: as long as one is not showered by the foot dust of the saints that are totally free from material identification, no one can become aware of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. All personal faults and mischief will automatically go away by becoming fixed in these lotus feet. Another confirmation. We need the mercy of someone who is already connected. Like Gurudev used to say, if you are connected, you can connect. A saint is great according to the amount of their prema. Therefore, we must understand that the greater the love of the saint is, the greater is the power of his foot dust in bestowing devotion. So, the foot dust is very, very important in our progress, because in the feet is a storage of all the moods and all the feelings of that personality. So if we want to serve Srimati Radhika's lotus feet, we need the mercy of someone who is already serving these lotus feet, who has already a connection. Sri Radharani has the greatest love. Therefore there is no comparison in the power of her foot dust in bestowing devotion, and thus causing the subjugation of Krishna. Srimati Radhika's lotus feet, even Krishna wants to massage them, he wants to paint them, he wants to hold them, and he is crying tears on, when he is doing Charan Seva. He is also very eager for this, Charan Seva. And we know there's many stories, and I remember Gurudev was, when we were traveling in Europe, especially ours, one story was prominent. How Narada Muni was sent by Krishna because Krishna had a headache, and he said, Narada, find the dust of, I need the dust of my devotees. That will be the only cure for my headache. Please go, and you can travel very fast by sound vibration, and ask the devotees if they will give some dust. So Narada Muni was traveling. He went to Brahma, Shiva, he went to all different devotees. And they were all shocked. They think, my God, no, I cannot do it. If I give the dust of my lotus feet to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I will go to hell. This will be very bad for my... It will not be good. It is not, I think you are joking me, Narada Muni. Krishna wants my foot dust? No, never. He is the Supreme. But we know the gopis, when he came finally, it's a journey of experiences. When he came to the gopis, immediately they said, "Oh, you want our foot dust for Krishna has a headache? This is terrible. Immediately take as much as you like. We will rub it off, and then if you need more, you come back later." So this story is very famous because it's a sweet picture how the gopis, they are not concerned about themselves. They say, even if I have to go to hell for this, but Krishna's headaches and his desire is, first has to be resolved. I don't care what happens to me. If Krishna wants it, we will do it. So there was not this fear of my karma, of doing right or wrong. It's Krishna's desire, that's it. Because the gopis always want to make Krishna happy. And we know Srimati Radhika, she has the greatest love. So much so that Krishna is so much subjugated, means he is becoming small in her presence. He becomes a servant. He wants to also serve like a dasi. And he is realizing that as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is the power of the foot dust. And Krishna is so much, he loves his devotees so much. And the best and highest and most top devotee of all is Srimati Radhika. So when we worship her foot dust, we are in a safe place. And especially when we worship her foot dust under the guidance of our Gurudev, who is already realized in being Srimati Radhika's maidservant. That's why this song is called Sri Radha Nishta, means the fixed faith. There's two kinds of faith. One faith is a little bit shaky and maybe yes, maybe not, and some doubts. But the stage when the faith is unshakable, that's called Nishta, and that is what we like to desire to develop in the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika and in the power of her lotus feet and the dust of her lotus feet, that it will help us. And we are receiving it through our Gurudev. Of course, we also meditate by ourselves, but we need a pipeline. We need some channel to receive the dust, because the dust has to, fall down from her lotus feet to the lotus feet of my Gurudev, and then there I can get the lotus feet dust. Also of Srimati Radhika through her dasi. I constantly remember the foot dust of Sri Radhika, whose unlimited power instantly subdues even the Supreme Person, Shri Krishna, who himself cannot be easily seen, even by the greatest devotees, like Lord Brahma, Shiva, Shukadev Muni, Narada Muni, and Bhishma. This is a quote from Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, verse number 4. So, why did Brahma, Shiva, and Narada, all of them, why did they not want to give the foot dust to Narada? Oh, Narada Muni was collecting, so why did they not want to give it? Because they were or are in God consciousness. They are not in Brajabhav. In Vrindavan, especially, the mood of the Brajavasis, the inhabitants who live in Vrindavan, is a fearless feeling towards Krishna. He's a cowherd boy, and he is a very sweetheart of everyone. Everyone loves him. Everyone always wants to see him happy. And they don't think about him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They see him as their friend. And Mother Yashoda sees him as her Lala, my boy, my sweet boy. And the Gopas, the cowherd boys, see him as his Sakka. Their Sakka is their friend. And the Gopis see him as their sweethearts. His sweetheart, their sweetheart, yes, their beloved, their secret beloved, secretly. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Pad has spoken of the Prema Rasa Siddhi, the perfection of loving mellows, of Sri Radha's foot dust as a wish-yielding cow, because her love causes Sri Krishna's complete subjugation. Again, Prema Rasa Siddhi, the perfection of all loving mellows, is Srimati Radhika's foot dust. And here the question may be asked, how can the practitioners serve the foot dust of Sri Radha? And how must the body be decorated with it? This Brajadam is Sri Radharani's eternal playground, with her girlfriends and with her heart's lover, Sri Govinda. Sri Radharani eternally plays in his Raj, in this Raj. Srila Prabodhananda Sarasvati Pad has written, the sweet place named Sri Vrindavan is beautified by Sri Radha's footprints. Therefore the dust of Braj is Radhika's foot dust. If it was not like that, then why would associates of the Lord like Uddhava Mahashai, who was the very embodiment of transcendental knowledge, have prayed for taking birth as even a blade of grass or a shrub in this Vrindavan, so that he could serve the dust? So this is amazing here now. Now, Baba's making the statement that the foot dust of Srimati Radhika is Vrindavan. Whole of Vrindavan is Srimati Radhika's remnants, her foot dust, her feelings. This can only be understood if we can connect the foot dust to the feelings, because they are always walking barefoot. And so all the land is permeated, is full of their feelings. All their moods, all their love is in them, in the ground of Vrindavan, and not only of Radha Mohan, but especially Srimati Radhika, because she has created Vrindavan. She is the personification of love, and Vrindavan is only made of love. That's why we are so eager also. We want to also connect to that divine love and serve Srimati Radhika there.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe. Kishore.
Radhe Radhe. May I share one?
Please.
Thank you. So just inspiration come. It's very beautiful. Yeah, sharings and Ananta Das Baba's word. And you said that so Vrindavan's this Dharma land is made by Srimati Radhika, like a motherly land. Our mother is Ram, and like Uttava Mahashaya, I want to become grass. Before I think, if you become grass, then Uttava Mahashaya always catching the lotus feet on his head. But actually, everything comes from land. We cannot live from land. Means everything, and especially become grass, it's more close with this holy Dharma, Radhika's lotus feet, of dust of lotus feet. It's more beautiful Vrindavan image come by your feeling. Become raw, then we can more catch her feeling. Mahababa. Radhe Radhe. That's why, and Anurag, like follow footsteps. Follow footsteps means this catching lotus, dust of lotus feet also. Something like become raw. Sorry, not good English, but just Radhe Radhe feeling come.
Thank you, Kishore-ji. Yes, when I was once on Parikrama, many years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, then we were at that place in Uddhava, where Uddhava prayed to become the dust or the grass. And I think, oh my God, this is so unperceivable that he prays to be the dust, but I pray to be the dasi. But these are the different mood of the different bhaktas in their different feelings. And it's all good. We can learn We can respect and we can bow down to all of them. Into the land of Vrindavan. In Srimad Bhagavatam, this statement of Uddhava is found. Asamaho charanarena yusham aham shyam vrindavane kimapi gulmalatau sadidam. Oh, I desire something very precious. All the shrubs, means the little grass, the vines and the herbs here in Sri Vrindavan are most fortunate. For they are constantly bearing the foot dust, the Braja dust of the Braja Gopis, who have given up their relatives and the path of virtue and chastity to worship Mukunda, a position which is coveted even by the Vedas. Aho, will I ever be so fortunate to take my birth as one of these shrubs or blades of grass in Sri Vrindavan? With such paramount devotion, the body of the devotee must be decorated with Sri Radhika's foot dust by living in Braj and serving Braja's dust. Here, the highest devotion is desired, to be said in Sri Radharani's lotus feet. So Baba is making it clear that we cannot worship Srimati Radhika in the mood of pride or in the wrong conception of bodily consciousness. That's why we remember these quotes and we are hearing these quotes, that there must be a feeling of very small service and small insignificance that has the highest desire to go into the service of Srimati Radhika. And then we can put the dust of Vrindavan on our bodies, on our heads, in that feeling of glorification of Vrindavan, gratitude and humility. That is paramount devotion. That is not some imitation. That's a very, very high feeling that comes only by a lot of mercy. We have already discussed that as a result of serving the lotus feet of the great souls, Prema is attained, and through Prema, Krishna is attained. Endless streams of Mahabhav, honey, flow from Sri Radharani's lotus feet. And wherever she places these lotus feet, there the specks of dust become saturated with the love juice known as Mahabhav. So now Baba is opening the depth of the power of Srimati Radhika's lotus feet and her dust of the lotus feet. Endless streams. It's like an ongoing stream that is coming from her lotus feet of Mahabhav honey. It's a very thick. Honey, if you try to put honey from a jar, it's not thin like water, it is thick. So what comes from Srimati Radhika's lotus feet is a thick stream of divine love in madness to serve her beloved Mohan. And wherever she places these lotus feet, it will be some remnants, and the vibration goes in the land. And what goes into the land? The love juice, known as Mahabhav. So going to Vrindavan is very auspicious. But usually we don't have no realization that this land is full of love juice, full of Mahabhav, because Swamini is walking there. It's not has. She is walking. She is still present there. And when we go to Vrindavan in that feeling, by the mercy of the saints, of the sadhus, and the devotees, and our Gurudev, these feelings can also come into my heart. And then there will be a big transformation. I can feel myself as a soul. I can overcome my bodily consciousness, and also I can feel myself as a soul who wants to serve Srimati Radhika. And my Gurudev is giving me the blessings that he also will help me in that. He is happy when I do, have these feelings and these desires. Because the living entities are full of different desires. And always Gurudev wants to help. Like Srimati Radhika always wants to help with all desires that any living entity might have.
Suniti, sorry. Could you speak loudly? Sugar asking.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was not so loud. Is now better? So, Radhe. So we come to Vrindavan. We have many desires. And all these desires become purified when I take just a little speck, a little, dust of the mercy of Vrindavan through the mercy of Guru, Sadhu, Vaishnavas and Shastras. That will happen there. That's why we go there. We always, when we live in the crazy wild west, then always there's so many things that cover my desire to be a spiritual dasi. And many other desires come up. Oh, I have to do this and that and this and that. And we collect a lot of garbage. But when we come to Vrindavan, all of a sudden, by the mercy of the holy place, this is taken away. And my desires are being transformed by the power of that dust of Vrindavan, which is full of the love juice of Mahabhav. That faith, to have that faith and that feeling, it will become true. It's not a theory only. It is something that is and will be a reality for those who are ready for that, who want to give up all other identification and live only in the soul and in the dasi feelings. And then Baba says, there is no doubt about it that Giridhari Shri Mohan is attainable by serving these specks of dust, since they have the great power to deliver this. There is a Rasika secret about why Shri Krishna has been named Giridhari and not anything else. On Shri Krishna's advice, Shri Nanda and the people of Braj gave up their long-practiced sacrifice to Indra and started the sacrifice to Shri Govardhan. This made Indra blind with rage and caused him to shower Braj profusely with huge clouds, as to destroy the whole place. Shri Krishna could have also used other means to destroy Indra's pride, but to preach Shri Giriraja's glories, and to see Shri Radha and the other gopis who were otherwise hard to see, without hindrances for a long time, he lifted Giriraj Govardhan on his left little finger for 7 days and nights. He became so happy to see Radharani for 7 long days and nights that he became most satisfied with the great offender Indra. He offered him some mediocre prayers and began to talk casually with him. So Krishna was happy also that Indra was giving the chance. In a way, although it was not such a nice arrangement with all the rains, and in the end it's all a game in Vrindavan, it's a Leela. Brahma is more qualified than Indra. He is Sri Krishna's son, Vishnu's son, and the creator of the world. But in Brahma Mohana Leela, he got the desire to kidnap Sri Krishna and his dear cowherd boyfriends and his calves. Nevertheless, in order to beg forgiveness for this offense, Brahma offered lengthy praises full of sweetness and prowess. But Sri Krishna did not speak to Brahma at all. Krishna forgot about eating and sleeping, holding the large Giriraj for 7 days and 7 nights out of eagerness to see Shri Radharani. it is needless to say that if anyone devotedly decorates his body with the first dust of that Sri Radha, then he will easily attain that Giridhari. Anayase Pabe Giridhari. Here the word Pabe he will get means that along with the relish of Sri Radha Giridhari's sweetness, one also attains the fortune of their devotional service. For the fortune of relishing Giridhari's sweetness is the true attainment of him. So Baba is mentioning these two stories to see that even if like Indra or Brahma, they want to test if Krishna is really Supreme Personality of Godhead, or if he just is a cowherd boy. We can see why they test, because they only know Vishnu. They don't know Krishna in his sweet form as a cowherd boy. So they test him, and the result of Indra's, stupidity, or not like to say that, but arrangement of the thunderbolts and the rain, he said that make me close to my Radharani. I am happy, and he spoke with him easily. But Brahma, he was stealing all the devotees, all the cowherd boys and calves. That made Krishna not very happy, and he ignored Brahma, and he didn't want to speak to him. So we see if there's some mercy that Krishna can be, again with his Srimati Radhika, he's very much easily forgiving. But taking the devotees from Krishna, he doesn't like that. So Baba says, on the other hand, there is no other means to attain or to relish Shama's sweetness than worshipping Sri Radharani's foot dust. So the real connection to Vrindavan, to the feelings and the love juice of Mahabhav, of Vrindavan, comes by Swamini's mercy and by the mercy of her dasis. Anything else is not available, even not to Brahma and to Indra, to the demigods, who also have very much responsibility in the, cosmic order of events. Without worshipping the dust of Sri Radha's lotus feet, without taking shelter of Vrindavan, where her footprints are lying, and without conversing with those whose hearts are filled with deep love for her, how can anyone enter into the Shyam ocean? So again, Baba makes the point that even if you love Krishna so much and you want to come close to Krishna, you need the mercy of Srimati Radhika. It's not possible without her grace, because she is the queen of Vrindavan. After this, Srila Thakur Mahashaya says, anyone who takes shelter of Sri Radharani's feet is a Mahashaya, which means a great soul or Mahatma, or someone of very fine intelligence. Anyone who offers his mind to Sri Krishna and who is Sri Krishna's devotee is a Mahatma or a Mahajan. But Sri Krishna himself has said in Bhagavad Gita, O Partha, he who is only my devotee is not my devotee. But he who is the devotee of my devotee, he is my true devotee. That's why we call each other Das Anudas or Dasi Anudasi. We are aware that we have to come close to the devotees to become devotees. We are just like a semblance. We are apprentices, we go into the school of devotion. And then again, if the Lord's pleasure, potency, only slightly arises within the individual soul, then that soul attains the title of Bhakta. It's again by the pleasure potency, by Ladini Shakti, that Bhakti in any way will move in my heart, in anybody's heart. Because this is all the property of Swamini. And she is giving the ability to love, and she is guiding us to become more loving and to feel what is the divine love in all the different stages on our journey. If the Lord's pleasure potency only slightly arises within the individual soul, no? That is Shraddha. The beginning of everything is Shraddha, faith. Yes, I like the devotees. I like to be with them. I like to hear. I like to take prasad. I like to get the smell of this beautiful incense that has been offered to Radha Mahan. And then the soul attains the title of Bhakta. And the presiding goddess of that pleasure potency is Sri Radha. Therefore, Sri Krishna is subjugated to the utmost by one who takes shelter of Sri Radha's lotus feet. Therefore, a devotee who takes shelter of Sri Radharani's lotus feet is the true Mahashai. So, I just check. Okay, there's some minutes. Again, it is mentioned by Baba, I think 2 or 3 times, that Krishna is subjugated, means that he is bowing down to lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. He is holding her lotus feet like this and crying. Why? Because her love is so deep and so amazing that he himself can only bow down to this love. And that loving flow from her lotus feet is a stream, is a very thick stream. It's never more less than that. It's always increasing only. And that thickness of her love juice, known as Mahabhav, that is very attractive to Krishna. He is helplessly surrendered to her sweet, loving moods. So much so that he decided, I have to taste that, because I see that she has more ecstasy than myself. How is this possible? How can she be more happy than me? And I want to find out how she feels. That's why he became Chaitanya. And by the way, glorifying Srimati Radhika as Chaitanya and her love, giving all that possibility to serve that love also in a very intimate and sweet way. Oh, by the way, Gurudev, did you check your my messages? I found out the quote about Baba Ulasa Rati. I checked, and it is in Venugit, and it's explained. So there's no difference in all the explanations of the different schools of Bhakti. And Sriman Mahaprabhu, he came to give this sweetest love to the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika that even Krishna, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, came to feel and came to taste. And that is that Bhava Ulasa Rati. It is that Bhava, that feeling, that mellow in devotion where the manjaris are not interested to enjoy Krishna for themselves. Their highest pleasure is to serve Swamini Shri Radhika, and in that love they are completely satisfied and melted. And they always want to serve Swamini's desire. So Swamini has only one desire. She wants to be with Mohan. So the manjaris also have only that one desire. They want to always be and help Swamini to be with him. And they always, everything they do, they only do with that feeling. They put on her ornaments and they say, now I put Mohan to your chest. Now Mohan is embracing you. They are doing everything, every service that they do to make her happy only. They have no self-interest other than that. And by that feeling, by that surrender, by that deepest touch of their hearts, they win Swamini's heart. And so much so that she trusts these maidservants with all her feelings, with all her sevas. They are her closest friends. And they are distributing actually the dust of Srimati Radhika's lotus feet. Yes, it's true. Vrindavan is full of this dust of Srimati Radhika's lotus feet. But who can open this vision to me? Because I am blind. I am blinded. I am deaf. I cannot hear. I cannot see. I'm only living in my mind. So this is why we pray Om Magyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya. Oh my Gurudev, you have opened my vision. You are opening my vision. I am blind, I am deaf, I am dumb. But by your mercy, the blind can see and the deaf can hear and the dumb can speak. So Radhe Radhe, anybody would like to add on this and share some feelings and about the glories of Srimati Radhika's foot dust? And the verses now are ongoing also. They continue. This is the whole song. And this verse by verse is also in this Prema Bhakti Candrika. And the next one is the second verse. Jaya Jaya Radhanam Vrindavana Jaradam. And actually, I don't know if Uddhavaji is around, but I wanted to ask you, Uddhavaji, if you would like to help me out this next Tuesday, because I will be traveling to Switzerland with all our dear Radha Dasis from Japan. Ma Prema Bhakti, Ma Hemagiri, Ma Bhakti Hemagiri will be here, and Dr. Chavan, and Sanatana Mohini, and also Bhakti Veena will be here. And we are traveling on next Tuesday to Maharani's house. So I want to ask if Uddhava Bhaya is would be available, because I know you are in Vrindavan. Maybe he is not listening right now. So my dears, you are all very silent. I pray that this must be your satisfaction and your happiness. Because the glorification of Srimati Radhika is satisfying all our desires, calming the mind, giving love and peace and happiness. Where's my Gauda Sunna? We have some minutes. Radhe Radhe, Gauda Sunna Raji.
Relaxing your beautiful voice, Suniti. You use the basement here. The basement is now so beautiful, cooling. We also have summer here, and no, it's not working. You see?
So?
I'm preparing everything for our guests and test, is it working?
Yeah. We have a lot of guests now coming. My God. Wow.
So Technik is working, everything is fine. And it's very relaxing. You can listen to me, yeah? You hear me?
Yeah, we hear your voice very good, no? Yes.
So yes, you spoke so much about this Radharani and Vrindavan. And because we also got this topic in Vrindavan, actually. I'm just coming from, and so there was one verse I remember this about the crowning of crowning ceremony of Swamini, right? You remember this?
Yeah, you said it's Vilap Kushmanjali 86.
I think so, yes. And we also have to do, in my feeling, to do this ceremony. Every one of each has to do this crowning ceremony of Radhika, to accept her as the queen of Vrindavan. Because if we not do that, we always think Krishna is the king. And then these loving feelings will never come, and this service mood will never come. We have to accept her as our queen. Make her the emperor, isn't it?
The Empress.
Empress.
Die Kaiserin unserer Herzen. The
Yes.
Empress of our hearts.
Sissy.
Sissy.
In Austria, they make sissy. And so then we are all set. If we do like this, we become a part of Mahabhav. I see Mahabhav is also there.
Jai Mahabhav. We were just talking about Mahabhav.
So, and what I can feel in Gurudev's close association is really that he also is a part of this eternal Vrindavan, and he makes us relish this feelings, Radhika's feelings. And now this time we also come very close to Mahaprabhu, and we got a new view of our Chaitanya, who he really is. And when we come close to him, to our Gurudev, we also become a part of his feelings. And his feelings are actually Mahabhav. He become Mahabhav, and who come close to Mahabhav also become Mahabhav. And then in this we can really enter Vrindavan as an inhabitant of Vrindavan. Because on Vrindavan, Radhika is the queen. All others are servants of Radhika. So, in that moment we become a servant of Radhika. We are inhabitant, eternal, wie heißt das? Bewohner.
Inhabitant
of Vrindavan. And our mind will no more work for the material interest, because the higher taste will be so beautiful that we have no more interest in this, what Gurudev sometimes said, stinky body, because there is a higher taste is coming to serve our Swamini. And this all is connected also to that what you said, Suniti.
This is all the words of Mahashai, of our great soul, Narottam Das Thakur, and our great soul, Srila Ananda Das Babaji Maharaj.
Why he could give it? Mahaprabhu put his mood somewhere in the river, and he got it from Mahaprabhu even later. Not in the same time, he don't met him even. But the mood, his Mahabhav was there. And he when he touched the water, this Mahabhav entered his heart. And so he got this realization. Like everything comes close to Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is in contact with Mahabhav, like animals. We remember this when he walked through the forest. This all animals who came close to Chaitanya become overwhelmed by loving feelings. Mahabhav.
Jai Ho!
Radhe Radhe Go